Welcome, welcome, friends. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about the technology problems. If you experience that, I promise you that this recording will be just as powerful for you. All right, let's get started. I have been yawning like crazy. Those that were able to jump on, I was kind of telling him I woke up at like 3:30 this morning because my fire alarm was chirping. That's not normal. And I hear 3 a.m. as a sacred hour, and so I just got up and I was like, all right, what thought stream is going to flow in, and I just had some emotions coming up of things that our ancestors wanted processed. It was kind of interesting. I felt like my room all of a sudden got crowded, like it was just like layers of people. And as I would write something down, those that, that's all they needed, I would see them leave. And I just kept writing. It was very fascinating, very um, exciting for all the people that we're going to work with today. Because, not only do we have, our own things going on, but we have energetically things passed down, right, from our ancestors, and we carry those burdens. So, all right, I'm so excited. In the beginning, I just like to have us take a nice few deep breaths to just kind of get centered, let any stress go, be able to get present. I learned it's called the 2x breath. I learned it through Ziva meditation, where you breathe in through your nose for the count of 2, and then exhale um, for the count of 4. So you double the exhale. And what that does is that helps to calm down the fight or flight systems in us, right? The ability to like just let things go, right? It helps to kind of stimulate that vagus nerve, which puts us into the parasympathetic, which is just the ability to relax more. So, all right, let's have us take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 2, out for 4, in for 2, out for 4. Let's do another one. In for 2, out for 4. Oh, that always helps me. All right. Okay. So, tuning in, when we think about burdens, right? I want you to just kind of ask yourself, what burdens am I carrying for my ancestors? Does anything come to mind? And you're welcome to type in the chat and let me know if there's something that comes to mind or something that you're here to focus on their behalf. Do you know any of your ancestors' stories? Were they farmers and relied on the weather, right, to see if they're going to have a good crop season and to be able to have a great abundant harvest and, you know, feed their families? Yeah. We have emotions of guilt and shame and powerlessness. Yeah. Are there any, situations that you're aware of or events that happened, right, where there was like a family fallout or, family feud about this or that, right? You hear those stories, but it's like that's kind of passed down to us generationally. I have a grandfather, a great grandfather, who, when he was younger, disobeyed his mother, and he wanted to go horseback riding, and he disobeyed, and because she had said no, and he went out and the horse spooked and bucked him off, and he fell and landed not in a good position, and he went home, and I guess like a week later they had like a family photo, their last family photo, where he was able to have his arm. It got infected with gangrene and they had to amputate it, so my great grandfather had only one arm. He was completely severed at the shoulder. And it was just interesting, because that had not passed down to my grandma nor my dad, but it passed down to me and like 2 of the 3 children that I had at that point. Um, and so it's just kind of interesting, the generational stuff, right? We don't always carry everything, but I know that what we do carry, we can help, heal our ancestors going forward and backward, right? Um, okay, we've got a wall against men, abuse. Oh yeah, alcoholism and control. Ooh, that's a big one. I felt that in generations too. Grief, disconnection from leaving their homelands. Yeah, like so sad. And then grief of losing your baby. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you. I've lost a baby too, and it's not fun, and um, many of our ancestors have gone through that as well, right? The loss of a child, an infant, or a miscarriage, or stillbirth, or even, due to lack of whatever, nutrition or anything, So there's just so much loss and grief, and, then you've got the emotionally charged, the shame, blame, guilt, resentment. Okay. So I just want you to think of that. If there's any sensations that you feel in your body, heaviness or anything, just kind of tune into it. Notice what you're experiencing, notice what you're feeling. All right. I want you to imagine a woman at a train station. I'm sure you've seen, movies, comedies, romance things where the woman's always overpacking and has all of her luggage, right? She's got like 5 suitcases, and just picture this woman at a train station. She's trying to catch a train. She's like dragging all of her luggage. It's heavy, it's awkward. She's dropping things. Maybe a suitcase opens up, right? Things are falling out. She's gathering it all in, stuffing it in, trying to, wave down the train, but she's able to make it. She gets on this train and she just collapses and she's just like, oh, I did it. She's exhausted and her heart's pounding, right? Like, what emotions come up? That fear, that panic. I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss my train. Maybe some judgment at all that she packed. Oh, maybe some guilt because maybe a parent or a spouse or, friend, somebody was like, you shouldn't pack that much, right? Um, so now she's like, now I understand, right? See her going through, this is kind of like the train of life, right? And she's carrying all this stuff. She thinks it's necessary. Ooh, there's a belief that she has to carry this, right? So it's like asking yourself, what burdens do you have inside your suitcases? What are you dragging around? Oh, that is preventing you from moving forward with ease and joy. Honor any emotions, honor any thoughts. Remember, I'm holding space. So if you're new to this, any emotion you have, whether I say that specific emotion or not, it's going to process for you because you're just choosing to allow it to go. Awesome. Someone sorry, leap on the train and leave all the baggage behind. Yes, that is what we want, right? That is what we want. Um, and we're getting there. So that's good. I love that. Good job. Take a deep breath, friends. And grab some water. Mm. All right. This time we're going to go back to the train station. Oh, now you see a gentleman sitting there on the bench. The train's there, ready to go, and he's trying to lift his luggage, but it's literally like cemented to the floor, right? It is not budging at all. And he's trying and he's pulling. He's trying so hard to just break free, like just grab that luggage, but it's just too heavy. There's no way. And he's trying and he's trying and he's sweating. He's trying harder. He's kicking it. He hurts his toe. He's like, ah, it's so painful. He's frustrated. He's angry. And the train begins to pull away. He looks back And he just is so devastated. He collapses on the bench, puts his hands in his face, and just weeps. Hmm. Um, when I had the downloads, and I grabbed my notebook and my pen and I said, okay, what is it that you need healed? And I heard the word destitution, which means poverty so extreme that one lacks the means to provide for oneself, right? Just nothing, nothing to give, nothing to have, nothing to receive. Just, it's lonely, it's heartbreaking. So I want you to just kind of picture your ancestors, anyone that, is struggling with that, who hasn't healed from that in your family line, where they just feel there's nothing left. Why try? Or it's too hard. Sadness, bitterness, anger, resentment. Ooh, you guys are doing great. Take a deep breath. Allow things to flow. I'm feeling a heaviness on my right shoulder. It's almost like a chip on my right shoulder. Typically, that is connected to like God, right? Anger at God or the universe. Oh, I love it. My friend is seeing a huge crowd. Yeah, there's a lot of people in our family lines who have suffered so much, right? And it's written in our epigenetics, and that's what we're working on healing. Ooh. My left shoulder blade is really, really hot, and the muscle like cramping down. There's a lot of stuff. So left side represents the past. It also represents like women. Um, as well as like our receiving side. So maybe there's a block to receiving, or that we're really carrying so much from our female ancestors, right? The grief, the sorrow, the heartache. There was also annoyance that came to me. I'm feeling that in my forehead, my third eye chakra. Ooh, that's a lot. Hmm. Take a deep breath. Picture those burdens releasing. You've got pain, fear, more resentment. Ooh, there's some that are resisting growth or change, or maybe were in their lifetime, right? We don't want to carry that forward. Ooh. Mm. Ooh. It's easing up. I'm feeling it. This is good. There's also the fear of making a mistake, fear of failure, fear of making the wrong choice. Do I get on the train? Do I not get on the train? Do I stay? Do I go? Do I move forward? Do I not? Do I, invest in this? Do I marry this person? Do I do this job? All the things that weighed on your ancestors, right? The choices. Maybe some didn't have choices, right? Think of like an arranged marriage. And then I also heard, thoughts are a burden. How many thoughts do you have that cause you to feel like a burden, right? Negative thoughts, things that don't serve you, that weigh on you, weigh heavily on your mind or on your heart. Emotions can be burdens, right? Sometimes the emotions are so strong, like the grief or heartache or loss, and it feels like it could kill you, right? And so sometimes we stuff our emotions and we push them away because it's just too painful, right? So honoring all that for your ancestors. Um, um, I also had the thought of wearing a mask, right? Not allowing others to see through to everything that's going on or our pain or our emotions, right? Because that could be too vulnerable. That's another block coming up in the third eye that I can feel. Take a deep breath. You guys are doing great. The next emotion is feeling ashamed. I see that man still on the bench just weeping. There's judgment, judgment of others, judgment of self, a little bit of victimhood. Why me? Why is no one stepping in to save me? Ooh, wow. Um, it's almost like the scene that I'm seeing with this young man with his, hands in his face, just buried and sobbing. It's like he's feeling unsupported, but it's like immediately I saw like the savior with his arm around this young man. Like he's there. There is love and support, but this man is just so wrapped up in, the grief and the judgment and the anger and resentment and all that that he can't even see the miracles, see the beauty around him, right? I mean, he still has breath in his lungs, which is keeping him alive, right? That's a miracle in and of itself. So let's work on healing this image. We're going to have someone come hand him a pair of glasses that gives him new insight, right? You can have these too. So put on your new glasses, new insight, a spiritual insight, right? The ability to see things from a non-judgmental perspective, right? To see things as they truly are, to see the blessings, to see the tender mercies, to see the ways that people do show up to support you, right? Because often, I mean, we're just so caught up in our own thoughts and in our own messes. It's like sometimes we can't see others' needs, or we only have so much to give, and we're doing the best that we can to help support others, but sometimes we're just tapped out and it's like there's nothing left, right? Like I've got this and work and children and a spouse or neighborhood drama or whatever it is, loss of loved ones or mental health and those thoughts that just won't stop talking, right? And so it's like giving yourself grace allowing him to see that people are doing the best they can. And sometimes you just need to say, hey, I'm not okay, right? Take off that mask and say, I need help. This is what I need help with. A hug, a text message, check in on me. Don't forget about me. Like, actually remember me. When you say you're going to pray for me, actually pray for me, right? Things like that. What is it that you need? Is it, a connection? Is it a meal? Is it time out, to go to lunch with some friends? Like, is it a hot bubble bath with a nice book to decompress, right? Like, so it's the ability to ask for help and the ability to see how you can improve that by asking others for help or who to ask for help. So gaining that clarity and then the ability to see that you really are supported and do have other people that are helping you on the other side of, the veil in heaven. So, all right. This morning I looked up burden. This is in the Emotions and Essential Oils book. And white fur was the first one recommended. It's for generational healing. So it says white fur addresses generational issues. Patterns and traditions are passed down from family member to family member. Some of these patterns are positive, while others are negative and destructive. Examples of negative patterns may include substance abuse, anger, codependency, physical or emotional abuse, eating issues, pride, and the need to be right. White fur assists the individual in unearthing these negative patterns from the hidden recesses of the body and soul. As they are brought to lightness of consciousness, they can be dealt with and put to rest. Individuals can choose not to participate in destructive family patterns and thereby break the tradition. White fur aids this process and increases one's chances of success. In breaking these patterns, it offers a huge refuge of spiritual protection and helps individuals stay true to the path of healing, even if their family members oppose them in leaving behind their traditions. I just thought that was so beautiful as we're focusing on our ancestors, right? And the ability to process for them and allow that generational healing to take place. All right, take a deep breath. We're gonna teach this gentleman and like that woman. I love how she was carrying the bags with her, right? And one couldn't even carry him because they were so heavy, and so therefore he didn't progress. He didn't move on, right? Because he was too weighed down. So I love how our friend said, just leaving them all behind, right? Like just throwing them out, like we don't need them. And offering to the gentleman, like, hey, hand those over to the Savior, right? Like give those away. You don't need to carry them through life. Like you can move forward without having that heavy weight on your shoulders and those burdens. All right, take a deep breath. I had a song come into mind this morning. I know that sometimes when you're in the middle of a trial, it's just like it's so hard, and you're like, where's the light at the end of this tunnel? And it seems to never come, right? And there's a song called Hold On by Katie Nicole. And it says, I know there's a light waiting up ahead, so I'll stay in the fight and look to the one who said, hold on just a little bit longer. I know it's going to be okay. These days are going to make you stronger. You'll find purpose in the pain. Hold on just a little bit longer. Deep down, there's a well of faith. Let hope arise as you're lifting up my name. And just hold on. Just hold on. Hold on. It's beautiful. I will send out an email with that song in it. I love listening to it. My favorite radio station is K-Love. It's a Christian radio station. It's all about Jesus music. Everyone could use more Jesus in their life, including me. Just helps me to feel more grounded, right? More connected. the hope that it brings. So I want you to notice, what are you feeling inside your body now compared to when we began? Do you feel that lightness, like something shifted, the weight's released? Have you felt warmth, tingling, and sensations, throughout your body? You're welcome to type them in the chat. Um, just a release, like a breath of fresh air, right? Sometimes there's like a cooling sensation. Sometimes it's like, oh, my shoulders just all of a sudden like relaxed, right? I just try to get people aware of what's happening inside our bodies. Our bodies hold the answers, right? And so often we're ignoring their messages. We're like, oh, I'll deal with that later, or, whatever. Or when you're tired, you're like, I don't have time to be tired, push through versus taking a nap, or whatever. So it's like, just kind of notice what you're feeling, see what's coming up for you. Hmm, interesting. So I'm seeing in my mind, I love this. I'm seeing everything rewinding that we worked on, the trains coming back, the woman with all the luggage, and the man. And now the scene changes, and they're sitting on the bench together and they're talking, and they realize they don't need the luggage. And it's like they hold hands and they get on the train, and it's like they're now a couple. They're like dating and they're moving forward with like no luggage. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love that image. Thank you. I've got a friend saying I can actually sit up now, where as I was on the ground for the first part. Yeah, good, good. Lots of progress, and it's about training our minds to see that, right? Like the spiritual eyes to see all the goodness, right? Tension released, upper back is full of peace. Oh, good. Excellent, excellent. Ah, this is so good. All right, another deep breath. We're just going to kind of clear out your grounding system to allow things. Yes, love the image of that couple. Me too. That was fun and unexpected. Oh, I love it. Another deep breath. Excellent, excellent job today, friends.